charred remains of my house. My 5-year-old son, Samuel, hid behind me, clutching my knee as he held onto my leg. Even from across the street, I could feel the heat and smell the smoke. I watched as the firefighters covered the last of the flames in a tsunami of water and kept the onlookers at bay. 35 years in that house. I'd grown up there. Then, when my parents died young, I'd inherited it and all of the happy and sad memories that played out inside those walls. How could this have happened? Did I leave the gas on? I'm sure that I blew out those candles before I went to bed, and it can't have been cigarettes. I'd not smoked any that day. I'd rushed around that morning trying to find my lighter, but it was nowhere to be seen. I dropped Samuel off at school in a terrible mood and spent the day at work being short-tempered with all my colleagues. The fire was investigated, and it had started in the living room. Somehow the curtains had caught on fire. They suspected arson, and I froze with terror at the idea of it, because it reminded me of him, my ex, Ben. He'd been great in the beginning, but he had a jealous streak and a vicious temper. He lied, cheated, and hit me when we fought, just enough to hurt, but not enough to leave a mark. I tolerated it until I realised it was affecting Samuel, who had been acting out in preschool, screaming and fighting with the other kids. Hurting me was one thing, but hurting our son, that was another. I called the police and he was arrested, but he had a good lawyer and there was little physical evidence, so he was given a suspended sentence and a restraining order, but no jail time. I had nightmares about him coming back, and now that nightmare seemed like a reality. I told the police about the fire, and they said they would investigate. We went to stay in a hotel, and the next few weeks were awful. I was juggling work, the investigation, and hours upon hours on the phone to home insurance, desperately trying to get a payout. They said they couldn't pay it all at once, so the money came in agonisingly slow instalments, not nearly enough to pay the bills. So, much to my frustration, I had to move in with my sister and her husband. My sister and I used to get along well until she married that awful man. As sisters, we shared our poor taste in men. He wasn't directly abusive like Ben, just oafish and lazy, expecting her to do everything for him. So Samuel and I kept to ourselves, as if we were lodgers and not family. It wasn't ideal, but at least we had a roof, warmth and food. Life went on, and every day I anxiously kept calling the insurance company and the police for updates. The police called me back during work one afternoon, and I went into an office to take the call. They told me that Ben had denied setting fire to my house and claimed to have an alibi that police were looking into. One day I was doing the laundry, and I could feel something weighted inside Samuel's trouser pockets. I reached in and pulled out a small metal lighter, the lighter I had lost. I went to his room and walked in, holding the lighter at my side. He was watching cartoons on his tablet. I held the lighter up, and before I could even say a single word, he started to cry. "Samuel, what did you do?" He blurted out 4 devastating words. "I was just playing." Thank you.